Hello, everybody. It's Rick. It's Friday. We're doing the Street Smart Millionaire because I'm out of town next week. I'll be in Michigan. I've got to go to my office, see some loan reps and see some people. So we're doing this on Friday. We have one of my clients, Yael, here. You've been a client of mine for how long?
Since 2017.
So for about 8 years, you've been my client. That's been a long time. You agree?
I do.
So what were you making when you started with me?
300.
And what do you make now?
I'm going to make 2 million this year.
So right under 2 million last year, like 1.8.
Yeah.
We're shooting to make 2 million. That's quite a run in 8 years. How long had you been in the business?
I'm now in business about 25 years.
So why the mortgage business?
I was just born into it.
How were you born into it?
Well, I have 2 sisters that are realtors. I have an older sister that's a mortgage rep, and she just pulled me in.
And the funny thing is all 4 of your sisters are my clients, correct? And they all dominate. 2 of my best realtors are your sisters, and 2 of the best lenders are you and your sister Ann, always in the top 10 in my program. Why do you think that you all 4 dominate in a sales program? Why is that?
Well, we gravitate to the best. We want to get coached by the best.
Well, it's funny that I look at the 4 of you and you just are like better students than other people. Why is that?
I think we're a little bit more obedient.
Why?
We believe in God, and we're used to being subservient to a higher, so it's easy, I guess, for me to listen, to surrender than other people, maybe.
Me too. So I am a New Testament Jesus guy. You're an Old Testament Torah lady, right? So Jewish, and I'm Christian. And we both have faith in God, that there's a higher power, and we have to serve, and we have to be obedient. Do you agree with that? Why do people struggle with words like serve and obedient?
It's probably an ego. They probably want to be the best and think that they're better. But
yes. I find a lot of people that make a little money, they act a little like full of themselves. Do you notice that?
Yeah.
Like you're in New York, right? So there's a lot of people that are wealthy and let you know they're wealthy. You agree with that?
Yeah.
That kind of bugs me when I go there. Do you like that behavior?
I laugh at it.
You just laugh at it and accept it?
I laugh because I just know that, the most people who feel full of themselves are usually the people who make between like 200 and 500.
So it's not the big earners.
It's
Most
not the
big earners are more humble, you find?
I see that.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. So you've been making over $1 million for how long now?
I'd say probably for the past 5 years.
So for 5 years, you've been doing really, really well. You know, to make $1 million is 1/10 of America. That's a limited number, isn't it? So you're doing really good. I'm coaching you right now personally this semester. I really enjoy you. You always have a great attitude. You seem like you implement really well. You don't seem like you get frustrated. You get frustrated in the day-to-day work?
I try not to. I try to, keep work.
Like the mortgage business has a lot of chaos, doesn't it?
It does.
And how do you get through all that?
I just take it one thing at a time and try to enjoy it and, realize that there's real people behind it and try to just work it through.
And you've been married how long?
22 years.
And you have how many children?
6 children.
Does your husband work?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He runs a security company.
So he runs a security company. You're heavily involved in the mortgage business and you have 6 kids. So my question is, how do you get it all done?
Sometimes I don't, but I had to learn how to surrender to a calendar. So we got a calendar, everything's on there.
So your personal and your business?
Everything. I have like the PTA meetings on there. I have my kids' school plays. And the same way I'm taking a meeting with you, I have taken a meeting with my children. So I just put everything on.
So you're like me, you're very task-oriented, addicted to the calendar. You think that's important to be successful, to addict to the calendar?
It's the only way. And I'm not like that naturally. By nature, it's a stunning day. Let's go have fun. Like I want to,
So I am naturally a little chaotic and unorganized. And a guy told me that you cannot be successful or wealthy if you're not super duper organized. So like as you're in my cave, it's very what? Organized, clean, neat. So we're sitting around all my cars and hanging out. So I've learned to be really organized. I'm addicted to a schedule. Everything with me, if it's not on the schedule, I don't do it. Do you live like that?
I live like that. But I just got to. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get it done.
And to show you how I can't be distracted, he was trying to do a video when we were at lunch. Remember that? And it was rattling me. Guess what I did at the end of the lunch? I threw away the microphone that he had set out for me because it just distracted me. It got in my way. So I have to stay laser focused on task. You the same way?
I am lazy. I think you do a better job at me.
Well, of course I do. I'm richer than you. Okay. So listen, like I know about, there's a lot of people that are wealthier than me, but I know 2 that are truly wealthier than me that I know personally, that I know a lot of people that do well, but I know 2 people that are really wealthy, and they're both more organized than me. They're more efficient than me. So I should be more organized than you and more efficient than you. So you come out here to spend a day with me and to follow me around for a day. There were 9 of you that came around. They come out last night. You didn't get in late to follow me around for the day. What's the day been like so far?
The way I watch you is that you're like a machine. Everything is laser focused. You got a lot of energy and you put a lot of effort into everything you do. Nothing's halfway done.
And what do most people do?
They just, they're more lethargic about their day.
So you sat in 4 meetings, 2 on Zoom and 2 live. We saw 200 people, correct?
Yes.
Was I laser focused with a theme with every meeting?
You were very laser. You were yelling and screaming.
Cool. All day long, firing people up. Now, I look at myself as a salesman and a professional coach. What do you think of yourself as?
I look at myself as a salesperson, a leader of my team, a mom, a wife.
And a manager. So there's a lot of hats you got to wear. We talked about earlier that I literally, when I first learned this about the multiple hat program, I would pick up the salesman hat. Then I would take it down and I would pick up the leader hat. Then I would take it down and put on the ops manager hat. Take it down, put on the coach hat. Put on the husband hat, put on the dad hat. Do you miss many things for your kids? Do you miss out on many things?
No, I don't.
Any things?
Some things,
So if they're all in sports and activities and theater and dance and music, they're in everything, right?
Yes.
How many activities do you let each kid do?
About 2 or 3.
At a time?
Like my Sari, she's doing tennis, she's in a musical, and she's doing 2 other ones doing singing lessons. She's in another thing. About 2.
So your kids are very active.
Yeah.
And you're at how many of their events? What percent do you think you're at of their games and dance recitals and plays?
So I would say I'm at like 90%.
So you're at 90% of their events.
Yeah.
You put up 20 deals a month, which is big. That's a lot of loans. I mean, the average loan rep, just so you know, does 1.7 deals a month nationally. You average 20, correct? You put up about 20 every month, put up about 240 clients a year. How many realtors do you deal with?
I deal with about 40 realtors.
So about 40 realtors that you take care of. Those are what we call in our business our referral partners. They're our main source of income. They sell houses. We cater to them. They refer the client to us, right?
Yes.
So you have about 40 that refer you. How many are really like what I call a ride and die referral partner? They're like, you get every deal they do.
5.
So 5 of them are ride and die, and the rest are like onesie, twosies, occasionals, kind of loyal, not totally loyal.
Or they're not putting up enough deals, so I'm getting them, but they are onesie, twosies.
And I always chase whales on Friday. Is that something you do?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
My whale program, I have a list of who I'm chasing, and then I work out I have a little Excel spreadsheet, and we start a phone call. The next week they get a little gift, and then we chase them, a card, try to get a meeting.
So how long do you chase a whale?
About 5 weeks.
Cool. I chase a whale for 10 weeks, and then they go from, I look at the hand as always like my hand that feeds me. So I always have 6 things I'm working on. Like we know we work on this all the time. I always look at the swear word finger as the whales. Why do I look at the swear word finger for the whales?
Because they're probably they're the big,
Makes a big impact. That word can make a big impact, and those whale clients can make a big impact. So we call them on Friday. I call 10 people, 10 weeks. And then if I don't get anything good from them, I drip them into the ring finger, which I do all my database dripping campaigns. They'll get videos, they'll get emails, they'll get podcasts. So what is your success rate at breaking whales? Like big realtors are your whales. What is your success rate at breaking them?
I'd say 50%.
Okay, so you land about 50% of the people you target. Now, what is the perfect realtor for you? What is I spend a lot of time with people in industries identifying their perfect client. So who is the perfect realtor for you?
A perfect realtor for me is somebody who does at least 5 sides a month and knows how to refer, only refers me, says this is the person I want you to use. If you don't work with this person, you're going to have a terrible experience. They talk me up. They work with me, and they don't harass me. They trust my system. I give them their update every week. They're happy, and people that I'm friends with, I end up working, the people who I like.
So what does that mean? You're friends with them?
I'll hang out. We'll go to their, we'll join their celebrations. We talk. I'll strategize with their business, try to help them improve their business. And most of the realtors that work with me make more money.
So they make a lot of money, and because of you, they make even more money because you're helping them
I
get
help
more
them
deals and run a business. So you're kind of like me with you. You're always kind of guiding and coaching a little bit and
Yes.
helping them.
I usually make them sign up with the core, and then
I like that.
it takes,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and then it takes a lot off me.
Then I do the teaching for you.
It-
Okay, I like it. It's a
it's the
win-win.
be-
You
yeah.
win and I win. So I look at your business, and I've looked at your growth over the last 7 or 8 years. Where are you going with this business?
Where am I going?
Like, where are you taking it? Like, you're pretty young. How old are you?
I'm 43.
Well, I'm 64, so everybody's pretty young. So you're 43. So you probably got 20 more years of work in your lifestyle, right?
Maybe a little bit more.
A little more.
I don't want to be those people that croak, after they retire.
I agree. When you stop working, you start dying. Do you agree with
Yeah,
that?
I want to work.
So I hear about all these people that have these careers and they work gung-ho and they build big companies and then they stop working and they fall apart. I'm going to work till I die. You?
I think so.
Why?
Because I love it. I love helping people, and I think that's what I'm good at it. Why not?
Well, I will tell you why I will work till I die. I love it. I'm good at it. And God says work. The God does not talk about retirement. You agree?
I don't see it anywhere that
I
says
don't
to
see it anywhere
retire.
in my book or your book, okay? So listen, I read your book and my book, and I don't see retirement in there. I see guys are just working right till the end, and they live a long time. I look at the current president as like, I don't know, how old is he? He's got to be like 70 or 80. The last president was like 80 years old, so.
I one day was complaining because I was going to a couple of realtors. I was doing a bunch of meetings, high impact meetings, and I was tired. And then I watched the president. He was doing rallies with thousands of people, and I'm like, I was so embarrassed. Like,
I feel the same way. He says there.
He
I
has a
think
lot of energy.
when you see people that are like older and they're still working, I want to inspire people, and I want people to be inspired, and I think that's an important thing. So I think that when it comes to money, are you an investor?
I am.
And you like real estate?
I love real estate
And
a little too much.
How much real estate do you own? How many pieces?
I don't want you to yell at me.
I won't.
Okay. About 10 to 12 properties.
So you have 10 to 12 pieces of property. What kind of property do you own?
Residential, commercial, multifamily, and
So how many multifamilies do you own?
like big units, like hundreds of unit buildings.
You have buildings with hundreds of units in them.
Yeah.
Wow. And what are those worth?
They're worth, 30, 40, 50 million.
So you have 50 million in real estate.
Yeah.
And what kind of debt do you have on it?
I don't know offhand. I'm not.
So are you probably 45 million in debt, 40 million in debt? How much equity do you think you have in all these properties?
At least 30% equity.
Okay, so you probably got 15 million in equity in all these properties. Now I've made you invest in the stock market, correct?
Yes.
And this week you think I'm horrible because it went down this week.
No, I got excited, and when I saw it going down, you're gonna be proud of me. You know me, I like to have a big reserve account.
Cool. So do I.
I went very lean, and I put money into the stock market this
Good for
week.
you.
So I
Good
think
for
it's
you.
good.
With it down a little bit, it's probably a good time to
Yeah,
buy.
that's what I
So what happens if you only have real estate and you don't have stocks?
It's not smart because real stocks is liquid that day, and you can
Real
buy-
estate is not so liquid.
not liquid, and stocks you can borrow against it.
So I like a lot of real estate. So don't think I don't like real estate. I have 4 pieces. I have about 30 million in real estate. All my stuff is free and clear. I cash flow about 40 grand a month net cash flow. What do you cash flow on your real estate net cash flow?
About 15.
So you get 15,000 a month net cash flow, and you have a really good income, and you bring in about, last month I think you brought in 170 grand in net income in your business. So you're making a lot of money, you're buying a lot of real estate, you're investing. Are you charitable?
I try to be.
What does that look like?
I definitely give 10%.
So you give 10% of all your income.
Yeah, that goes straight off the top, and then my goal is to try to get to 20%.
I love that. I think that's excellent. I think this last year was my best year. I did about 16%, and I'm working still hard to get to 20%. Where do you give your money?
I give it to charities that are local, a lot of things causes that I identify with, and really anybody who asks.
Cool. So I have some causes that I like. I have some organizations I like. I have a church that I like. I have some people that I take care of that are older that need some help. I just started my charitable foundation and funded my first big amount of money to my charitable foundation.
You
Is
like
that
the
something
tax deduction?
Huh?
Did you like the tax deduction?
Well, I did like the tax deduction. So
I have two of them.
You have two charitable foundations. Okay, that's great. So this is the first time I did that, and I will end up. I think I put $10 million in my charitable trust this year, which will save me $4 million in income tax. And normally I pay about $5 or $6 million in income tax. You probably pay in New York $1 million in income tax.
Not after I started the class, but
yes, I think the charitable foundation brings down your taxable. Some of your buildings give you some deduction to bring down the taxable. So where are you going with all this? What are you trying to do? I know you want to work forever and you love it. You want to keep getting better and you want to keep accumulating wealth. What are some numbers you're trying to get to, both in like real estate or the stock market and income? What are some numbers?
My number, I want to get 10 million in the bank.
10 million in the bank?
And I want to have 10 pieces of real estate owned free and clear.
So you want 10 pieces of real estate free and clear. You want 10 million in the bank. I think that's a good model. I have 4 pieces of real estate, and I want to get to 6 pieces of real estate just because it kind of fits into my, like I would have my main house would be my main one. My farm would be the thumb. Then I want to have these 4 properties. So I'd like to have 6 pieces of property. I'd like to continue to keep accumulate wealth. I'd like to keep teaching people how to make money. How come more people don't make money? Like, it doesn't seem that complicated. Has it been that hard for you to make money?
No, I think that people don't have a vision, and they don't even know the possibilities out there. And then people are not, coached. They get lazy, so they're not focused.
And the coach will prod you, kick you, make you make calls when you're not really in the mood.
Yeah, when you're not, I don't want to be yelled at, so I just do it.
And we do it in groups of 3, so there's a little competition, you agree. And, you're on a call right now with 2 really good guys that each make $1 million, and you can see why you make 2 and they make 1. Can you see why? Your stuff's filled out a little tighter, you generate a few more leads, your team's a little bigger. It's pretty obvious. Does that make sense? Like, you can see the difference between you and them.
Yeah.
I think that for me, God means love, surrender, obedience. I think that those things fit for you as well. Do you agree?
Yes.
And I think that people struggle being obedient. Like, I love the word. Like, I feel like I'm obedient to Ron that I work for. I'm obedient to my wife, Britt, who I love. I'm obedient to Roy, my mentor, who coaches me. So I'm obedient to those 3 people. And if I want to be a leader and I want you to be obedient to me, what do I have to be?
You have to be obedient to the people above you.
Yes. So I think that people always ask me, how do you be a leader? Which I don't know that I am. I'm a really good coach and a really good salesman, but I think that everybody is some kind of a leader in life. Do you agree? You're leading your family, you're leading your team. You have to have some leadership skills. And I think that you cannot lead unless you follow. You agree with that?
Yes. It's sort of like leadership by example.
I think that's true. I think what are the 3 types of leadership to you? Like you said, 1, lead by example.
Lead by example, or to serve, to cater. That
cool. So we serve, we lead by example, and then the 3rd style is?
I don't know.
Authoritative.
Authoritative.
So when can you be the authority?
I think you could be the authority once you become a good caterer, and once you...
I think if you're serving and you're exempling, you can be the what? Now, you followed me around for the day. Do I work really hard every day?
You do.
I work really hard, and I'm sure if I followed you, you work hard every day. Do you think there's people that think they can make a lot of money without working hard?
Yeah,
Do you think they can?
No.
A few people could maybe make a lot of money without working hard. Maybe they sold a product that went in Lowe's or Home Depot or Target or Costco, or maybe they invented something that was really quick.
Or they bought the lotto.
You won the lotto? That would be good. Or they inherited a lot of money. Like, all of our children will do better than we did. Why?
Because we're going to be leaving them nice legacies.
Yes. I read Proverbs every day in the Bible, and it talks about leave your children's children an inheritance. What does that mean to you?
To leave an inheritance for your grandchildren. And
of 2 things. What 2 things?
Real estate and money.
Well, I was thinking like money and lessons.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking like...
I like that.
I like literally you would leave them like property or animals or land or buildings or stocks or cash. But you would also like, hopefully you would leave your children's children lessons of like God and right from wrong and how to have fun and how to be a hard worker. Like, I learned from my father to be a hard worker. What did you learn from your father?
I learned from my father to wake up early, enjoy the grind, and my father gave us a lot of confidence.
Cool. I think that's important. I think that I don't know that my father gave me confidence, but people along the way gave me a lot. And for me, as I had little victories in life, it gave me a little more confidence. You agree with that?
So sometimes when somebody's, it shows me that when you're not born with something or you're not given it, you could get it.
I agree. What are some things that you are not great at?
I am not a great delegator. I am not the best. I suck at everything. I'm not great at a lot.
So you just think everything that you can get better. Now, do you know what my favorite mantra is in my life? I'm broken. I hate it. I'm going to seek help. You kind of described that right there. You're not great at anything, but you're doing pretty well because you work hard at everything.
I do. I work hard, and I took a ton of notes. I'm going to go back and get better.
And what do we only focus on, me and you? The number or getting better?
Getting better.
Getting better, and the number will what?
That comes.
The number
I don't even
will
look
come
at the number.
when you get better. I don't think about the numbers like people ask me if I planned on making this. I did have 4 numbers. I at first, when I started working, wanted to make 100. Do you remember that?
Yes, I was like, I can't wait. If I can make 100, I'll make it.
And then I said, well, let's make 250. And then I said, let's make 500. And then after I made 500, I said, well, let's make $1 million. Do you know I never had a number ever for life after I made $1 million? It's like, and I always have. Like you've done it how many times now?
5, 6 times.
5, 6 times. This is 29 times I've made $1 million. Pretty crazy, isn't it? And it just, you get to a point where you expect to do a certain level of business. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it just becomes a part of you.
It becomes, your expectations become part of you. Like, listen, I'm going to honor God. I'm going to honor my wife. I'm going to be fit. I'm going to be a good coach. I'm going to make a lot of money. I'm going to be a good investor. Those things are what?
That's part of you. That became you.
Yes. And I think that your children have to be programmed to learn how to be different things. Good students, good person, obedient, honor God, be loving, be fun. And they have to learn these things as they grow up. And you got to constantly be a good student. And you got to keep learning, don't you?
Absolutely.
So when it comes to being a salesperson, I don't know that you would be in the dictionary, it would be a picture of you to be a salesperson.
Probably not.
Cool. You're pretty like family-oriented, God-oriented, good person, tactical. So you've become a really good salesperson. Did it come easy, or did you just do the work and it happened?
I think that I probably do have a little sales in my DNA. I have it.
Well, you're super charming. That makes it easier to do sales. Yeah. But picking up the phone and calling people you don't know is what?
It's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
I don't struggle with it. Why?
I don't know. Why don't you?
It's the means to the end.
So you just have your laser focus on the end, and you said, this is how I'm going to do to get there.
If I'm going to coach more people, like I coach about 340 people and I want to get to 400, and for me to coach 400 people, I've got to meet new people. Like I was in Seattle 2 weeks ago. I saw about 600 people in 3 days. Then I was in Tennessee. I saw about 100 people. This weekend, Sunday, I'll go to Michigan and I'll see about 100, 150 people. And in Seattle, I got 12 new clients out of 700. In Tennessee, I only saw 100 people and I got 5 new clients. So it doesn't really matter how many I see. It matters how well I connect with them. Does that make sense?
So you know what it means? You see less, you have a better...
It did work out that way. Now, why is that?
It's because you get more personal.
Yes, they got to know me a little more. We got to talk about, and for me, once I can get somebody talking about what is your vision, and I have a plan to help them hit their vision, let me hold you accountable. It seems like a good flow for people to go into that. So you started off right in level 3, or did you start out in the lower level?
No, I started off at level 2. I was very insulted.
You couldn't get in level 3.
Yeah, but I took it in stride. I'll tell you what happened. I came to my first summit. I was supposed to go into a class for teams with, below 1 or 2. And by mistake, I went to the team with 5 and above. And then I thought it was rude to get up. So I sat in the class. And then I still have that paper with stick figures of my team, which was implemented within 6 months. Because I learned, that was something I didn't know. I didn't even know that existed, that you can do that. So I learned a whole realm came. Oh my God, I could do that.
And then you did it.
And I did it. So
I'm one of those people that if I can see it, I can only what?
You can do it.
And if you give me a recipe, I can for sure what?
You can. So you think you're a good baker?
No, I'm not a good baker, but I'm a good recipe follower. I'm not a good cook at all. Are you a good cook?
I am.
Good. And are you a recipe cook or just figure it out?
I'm going to figure it out, but I have to read the ingredients and then I figure it out.
So I believe the core is like a recipe for business. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's a great recipe because, listen, I got it. I saw it then and then I'm like, oh, wow.
You can see it and then you can do it. I agree.
And you know what? I think I work less. I don't work as much because
How many hours do you work? Like I put in about 60. What do you put in?
I'd say I work about 40, 45.
So 40, 45. A lot of people wouldn't think you could make that much money at 40, 45 hours. So you must be laser focused when you work.
I'm very laser focused. I have a great team. Sometimes when it's, shaky, I do, ask my husband if he minds if I work late, and I do put in the hours that I need to.
So if you have to put in the hours, you call and get permission from your husband. You work till when?
I'll come home, take care of supper, take care of the kids' homework, and then just jump back on the computer and focus on it.
And what happens if he doesn't want you to work late at night?
I'll say, okay. Well, sometimes I'll argue back, but when I don't, I'll say, okay, and then I'll wake up early the next day and I'll start working at 5.
Cool. We make it happen no matter what. You agree with that? And most people have a lot of obstacles. Do you agree?
Yeah, everybody has obstacles.
Just so you know, the more wealthy I find people are, the less obstacles they have. Have you noticed that as you've made more money and your wealth is like you've gone from 300 to 2 million as you've made a 6 times growth? Do you have less obstacles or more obstacles?
I think that everybody has obstacles, but little things, they're just static. You just walk past it. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me, and I have more people handling.
You know, a guy taught me one time years ago, one of my coaches said, there's either speed bumps and brick walls. And most people make speed bumps into what?
They make it into brick walls.
I make everything on.
It's a speed bump.
It's a speed bump. It's like they're sick, get them good medical care. Like my wife had dental surgery this morning. A good friend of ours took her because the dentist wanted somebody there and I couldn't do it because I had all you guys here. I already called her. She's home. She's recuperating. It was a speed bump. She had some dental work. She had surgery. It's scary. She had to get put under. That's always scary. And I checked on her. It's okay. I'll go home early today. We'll hang out. I'll bring some soup and, try and be super supportive and catering. And in a couple of days, she'll be back to normal. You agree?
Yes.
It's a little what?
It's a little speed. And it's really how you look at things. So people I watch people getting all hung up on these things, and they just waste their life, wasting their time. Just focus on everything,
Do you ever get overwhelmed?
I do get overwhelmed sometimes, but
I do not.
Sometimes I do, but it's just more seldom.
Do you know why I don't get overwhelmed?
Why?
There's a quote that I like that says, much is given, much is expected.
Oh, okay.
So because much has been given to me, much is what?
Yeah.
More is expected. So much has been given to you, much is like you got health, you got God, you got 6 beautiful children, you're making lots of money, you've got all this property. Much has been what?
Much has been expected. Should I tell you the Hebrew one?
Go ahead.
It's marva nachasim marva daigas.
What does it mean?
The more things you got, the more issues you're going to have.
That's true. I think the more properties, the more problems, more money, more problems. So I think that money is a blessing and money can be a curse. And I think people need to look at money and say, wow, this lets me have a safer life. This takes care of my kids. My kids could go to better school. I can have a better retirement. For me, I look at lifestyle, retirement, legacy. What do those 3 things mean to you? Lifestyle, retirement, legacy.
I think that lifestyle is we get to choose. We can live a life that we want to, it just makes things easier.
The groceries, I know eggs are expensive, but I have chickens, so I don't pay for eggs. But do you worry about eggs being $5 a dozen?
No, it doesn't. I don't worry about it.
Right. So because you have created a lifestyle but you look at people that are making under 100 grand or under 250 grand, life is expensive.
It is.
So we're lucky enough that we have really nice lifestyles. Now you have a really nice retirement. What does the word legacy mean to you?
Legacy to me means 2 things. It's teaching my children. I want to give to the community and be pillars and just give back. That's a legacy. And my husband really, really is good at that. He does so many volunteer. He thank God for him.
He helps you cover you a little bit, right? Cool. Covers you a little bit on your charity work. What's your thoughts about people that are watching our podcast about wealth and balance?
I'd say that there's if you work on it, you focus on it, get coached on it, there's a way to do it.
You believe in coaching?
Yes. I think everybody should get coached.
Cool. I do too. I think that I have a God coach. I have a personal trainer. I have a guy that helps me with my marriage. I don't have a business coach right now, but I've had 8 really good business coaches. I think for me, like my boss is a billionaire and he's self-made and he's never had any coaches or any help. How many people are like that?
Very little.
Cool. Most of us are normal people that need a lot of work.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is your business slacking off now that you don't have a coach?
Is my business slacking off? I would say no, because I'm very driven. I think that there are people that work out with a trainer for a long time and then eventually they don't need the trainer. I think with the trainer, I still need the personal trainer and the marriage guy and the pastor to help me. But I think when it comes to business, I am very self-driven about, but here's why. You know, people ask me, why do I work so hard? Because I'm pretty successful. I love other people's money. I love watching you do well. I love watching you blow up from 300 grand to 2 million. I love that. So I think that you have to have a purpose. And I think it's okay that your purpose is to accumulate a lot of wealth. But after you have wealth, your purpose has to be other people's wealth or the country or the community or God's people. So I think you have to be on purpose for a purpose. And I think that I am on a purpose for a purpose. I'm taskful. I'm coaching. I'm helping people make a lot of money for the purpose of changing the planet, honoring God. I think it's hard to be a good steward of God if you're broke. So for me, I think that I try to help people fix their finances so they can then work on their families and their relationships and their relationship with God. I think that there are very few happy homeless people. You agree with that?
Yes, probably. I don't think somebody's happy if they're freezing cold.
So I think that I believe the have takes care of the have-nots. Do you believe that?
Yes, absolutely.
I do not believe the government will take care of people. I think people are going to take care of people. What do you think?
I think that's why we're charitable people. We help people. And I think what you do is really nice, that you teach somebody how to swim as opposed to just giving them.
Now I will tell you the 2 greatest accomplishments I've made in my life. Okay. I've helped 767 people make $1 million, which you are one of them. Okay. And our group gave away $270 million in the last 10 years that we've been tracking, all of us, 340 clients, adding up what we give every year. So those 2 things are my favorite accomplishments of things that we've done. What are some of your big accomplishments right now you feel proud of?
I feel proud of raising my family. I feel proud of being involved in our community. And I'm actually very proud of all the families that I helped get homes.
Yes, I think you help a lot of people. You help about 240 families a year get homes. You help 4 people have jobs and provide for their families. I think you're making a difference. So I will tell you this in close. I love coaching you. I think everybody should be like you. You have a great attitude. You're obedient. You're a good worker. You don't argue. You ask some questions, which is healthy, but you don't really argue. If I say this is what's best for your business, you trust me. You agree with that?
Yes.
And I will tell you this, if you're going to get coached, find somebody that you like their life in front of the curtain and behind the curtain. Does that make sense? That you like what they stand for. You're like, listen, I make mistakes, I screw up, and I have a lot of bad qualities. But overall, I think that you've gotten to know me over 9 years. I'm pretty solid. You agree with that?
I'd say so.
Cool. So I think you have to trust your coach. You have to be obedient to a good program. I think you have to have a clear vision. You agree?
Yes.
And you have to be committed to your vision. Like a lot of people have a vision, but they're not committed to their vision. That's a big key. You got to be committed to vision of raising great kids and honoring God and accumulating wealth and having all these properties. But I will tell you all this watching, I think that both me and Yael are great examples of normal people that have surrendered to a process and a person and done really well. I've had lots of coaches. You had me as a coach for 9 years. And I think that get off your butts and get serious. Do you agree?
I think so.
Have a great week. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire. Goodbye.